Okay, so it's about 4:15 this morning. Well, I woke up, but then Stella woke. I don't know. Sometimes I can't tell who woke up first because um, I don't know. Anyways, then it's like Max senses it or something, and then he comes in there, and so then when I got up, it was like 3:30. So and then this is something that is I was thinking through this morning. So it's like immediately, like as soon as my eyes are open, it's like, I need this, I need that, give me this, give me that. And so it's just like, oh my God. So you just out the gate running, go open the door, go do this, go do this. It's like, oh my gosh. And so that's where I'll start feeling like used and abused and manipulated and like, who's there for me? And then so I was thinking, okay, how do I turn that around? How do I turn how I'm looking at this around? And so I started thinking, instead of looking at it as like them taking from me, to keep looking at it, look at how much they love me. Look how much they love me. Not depend on me, but I heard that loud. Look how much they depend on me, because that is what that drive is, to make you feel so burdened. But how lucky I am to have them around to take care of, because what a lonely life when you have nobody to take care of. And so I was, so anyways, I'm trying to look at it different, because it does start making you just feel like pissed off. I'm like, damn it, you guys don't give me a break. And there's lots of days like that where I feel like that. I just put aloe vera on here. It seems like yesterday when I felt, I was like, oh my God, is it gone? And then I could feel like a little bit of roughness, but it doesn't feel like it's like scabby. Maybe it really is completely going away. I mean, this is going to be going a week and a half on the patch, and it supposedly does so much magnificent, magical stuff. And in that spot, that I talk about, like this place in my eye, every time when I check the peripheral, it's not dark. I can see like through the fog, kind of. I can't make out stuff. Only way I can make it out is because the rest of my eye tells me what's there. But if that's all I saw, I would still be, very handicapped. But luckily it's just in this one spot. So, and it seems like it's improving. Everything I was going to for the medical, they were making it worse. And I see my mom's doing the eye shots and all that, and I'm like, no way. But I don't want to be blind, and she's already pretty blind. She can't drive. And macular disease, macular degeneration disease, or whatever it is, it makes holes all through your vision. So everything you're looking out at has got holes. And so she said, she can only, like, she can't see a car. Like, we're driving, and there's a bicyclist on the road, so I'm going out to go around him, and she's like, what are you doing? Where is there something in the road? And I said, yeah. And then she couldn't see him till she was right next to him, and then she could just see like a little flash of yellow. She couldn't see him. So, and that was like, I mean, there was a giant trash truck in front of us, and she's like, what's going on? What's going on? It's like, yeah, it's a good thing she doesn't drive. It's like, oh my God, you can't see shit. You need to stay away from the fucking wheel. But anyways, she's not driving. That's where she's getting driven by everybody. So, but so she wants to do the eye shots and stuff. And then I guess she just told me my sister-in-law is doing them too, and she's way younger. And I'm just like, no fucking way. And so my mom and I were talking about it the other day, and I was telling her my experience, and I can see her thing is you have to go to them. And I'm like, people just don't realize how much they've injured me, how many things they've been doing to me my whole life. So it's like, no, if I went through enough things and saw it from enough perspectives, that there is no way, no way. Even when she was freaking out about my belly button, even before Crystal was, then it was, my mom was, and it was like, oh my gosh. And, you know, maybe I need to go to, get medical, you know, what if I just come home and you're just dead? And it's like, then that's what it's supposed to be. That's my way out. Celebrate. It's like, don't, you know, get, the desperation to stay and take people's parts and stuff. Like, there's a couple things coming through my head I wanted to talk about. This morning, I just saw this one video, and I was just like, I wanted, and I had one from yesterday that I wanted to talk about. And so, I'm just going to talk about these things and see, because I already feel like full. So, and Sherry, I would definitely be back doing that. This is like a mental relief for me to be able to like spill all this, because I don't have anybody to tell, so I tell you guys, and whoever wants to listen listens. So I'll keep doing it, even when if it's just, I mean, I did it for a couple years where it was just, I think at first it was maybe 3 people, then 5, and then I think 7, then I think it was 10 for a long time. And then it started going up, but man, they are blocking me so hard. I can't even believe it. Every message that Sherry did yesterday, no notification, no email, nothing. And I was just go through to check my things. Sometimes, I don't know, out of repetitiveness, out of like, I don't know, just doing it out of habit. And so I looked, and she was talking, and so we were having a conversation basically, and I wasn't getting any notification of the comments. And there's been a bunch of, yesterday on TikTok I got a strike for a comment that I left over, because it was a UPS guy, and their Ring camera got it. He delivers their package. Their dog's, you know, running around. It's a pretty small dog, and it's like zipping around, and he goes out and kicks it out of the way. And I've seen so many of these videos lately. I swear to God, you see one, and then you're gonna see 10. And one, that dog didn't start yelping. One that somebody walked by and just kicked the fuck out of for no reason. I didn't even see, I just had to go off of that. I didn't go back and see what the dog was or anything. I think it was a pretty small dog. But the yelping, oh my God, I was really hurt. And, you know, you can't do anything. It's like, fuck, man. This is fucked. There's so much cruelty. There's people cruelty, animal cruelty, the fucking, all those college kids they just found dismembered. It's like, I think some of these stories, you know, are sensationalized and made up, but I think some of them are real, and it's hard to decipher, but yeah, that's fucking gruesome. And if that's, you know, a sensationalized, made up kind of story, I think it's to draw attention to the, more to the cartel and the drug stuff, because he's already said he's taking the cartel down. He's arresting those motherfuckers. And so, and he said 130 groups or something. I didn't know there was so many. I don't know, for some reason I thought it was like the Bloods and the Crips. Like, there's 2. So, but now there's so many gangs. Oh, my nose is just running. And when I get up, I'm so stopped up. Oh my God, my face is stopped up. And my eyes are just like, stop laying. So I've even been up long enough, I guess, to drain it all down. So I think I've just been noticing that. Not something that I was aware of always. So anyways, let me think what else I was saying over there about, okay, the dog was being kicked, but it was before that. It was the blindness, no. It's like in between there's something. I can't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. This was a video. Well, this one video, well, this one that I saw this morning, I'm going to say that one first because I think it's shorter. Because the other one kind of was going with what I was talking about yesterday. So that one I might try and explain more to give more perspective, because I know there's lots of people out there just saying so many things. And so I don't know. It's like when you go and you listen to things, it's almost like you're programming yourself. And so the more information you can feed yourself, the better. 'Cause it gives you more perspective. It gives you more variety. It gives you more reference. Just hearing these same people, that was the big problem, I think, with the awakening part, with the spiritual, the community. Oh, yeah, okay, censorship. The community that they were putting, oh, yeah, because on the video with the UPS guy, all I said was, report him. And then I got a strike for that. So it just, every day there's some bullshit. They take down a video. They're just harassing me. And on my, this, I know that they are, because I'll have a certain amount of views. Like if I go into the analytics and I'll see, how many views. Well, and then they, always when they are really on my case, which they are on a regular basis, but there's other times where it really comes in highly. And I don't know if it's because a certain thing I'm trying to talk about and they don't want the information out yet or what it is, but they'll drop the views. It's dramatic. It's so dramatic. And there was somebody who told me that my videos are really hard to find. And so it's like, it would normally be like 1,500 views, which then, and I know they keep me down at 1,500 because at 4,000 they have to pay. So if you have 4,000 views every day, so they're keeping it down like that because I'm way past on everything, but they can control that. And so and they keep it controlled. And so it's normally around 1,500, sometimes 1,800, but right now it's back at like 500 views for the whole week. And so, anyways, they are messing with it, but I know things are going to take a turn, and so things will go a different direction. So anyways, I'm not going to stop doing this because it's a good outlet for me, and there's enough of you guys who say, yeah, it helps you. And which, I mean, feeling all alone in this weird freaking reality is too much. You got to have these connections. And so crazy how much stuff goes through my mind while I'm trying to talk. It's so distracting. So anyways, yeah, I'm not going to stop doing this. You don't have to worry about that. And you don't have to, I don't want anybody feeling like, oh, well, because I know there's so many people asking for money all the time. I don't need money. Yeah, I go through some times where I don't have a bunch of stuff, but, like I run out of treats, I run out of juice and stuff like that. But, tomorrow's payday, and I'll be out there and get it. Sometimes when you don't have things, it's, I don't know, it's kind of to see yourself, and I don't want to put what my needs on to other people. And, give me, because there's too many people out there doing that. Just give me, and everybody is in a pretty broke state. Everybody is, feeling the grip of this thing. So I'm not going to be doing that at all. And I know that there will be shifts. Things are going to play out. Things will go in a direction. So, but, for now, whatever, this is, what I'm going to keep doing. This is my 5th year. Like, it's crazy. I think it was the 3rd year where it started to be in more people, but there would be like little rushes. And as soon as there would be like a little rush, they'll just like hide my videos or something. I don't know what the fuck they do. So anyways, I'm still under their control, and he keeps saying online that we're stopping censorship. So that's like what I'm waiting to see. I'm getting so many sparkles. I used to communicate like that to me all the time when I very first, well, they still do all the time, but back then I wasn't sure what was going on. And I would ask people like, do you see all these little sparkles? And people were like, no. And I would be like, And I started noticing it was like as a confirmation. So it was always like an affirmation. If I was saying something that was right, like how the people are always like, a burp is a confirmation. I get these sparkles. And sometimes it's just like crazy, like they're so excited. And so it's like these sparkles I'll see. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like these little sparkles. And it comes with a real excited energy. So anyways, I just got sparkles on that. And so let me see if I finish talking about that censorship, the bullshit. I'm not gonna stop doing this. They've drugged me through this slowly, yeah, already. And so I try not to pay too much attention to the numbers, because when I do, it just irritates me. It makes me, oh, those motherfuckers. And so, but I know that these changes are coming. They're not going to continue to be able to censor us. Like, it's absurd. Like, when you really think about it, it's motherfucking absurd. Like, how far are you going to go? You're going to tell us what we can goddamn talk about? Like, they're going to come in and block us, take down our shit? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this fucking control of this place is like absurd. But then you realize, well, I'm on their internet, I'm on their social media, I'm on their stuff. So it's when you enter their thing. That's the way I felt about with the house loan thing. It was like, well, I'm going to refuse to be a part of their thing. And if I get kicked out of their thing, then, so be it. That's the direction I'm going anyways. And plus, I keep being like, trying to, understand timing and stuff. Like, it's trippy, because I kept thinking, man, something bad's about to happen there, which I don't know. They could have had some bad storms and stuff, but when my neighbors said the other day about those guys being there and stuff, everything looked fine. I was sent video and stuff, so I don't know, I mean, yeah, a lot of times you wonder, like, why is this going on? Why am I here right now? What am I supposed to be doing? And always trying to look at it deeper. Like, I'm always trying to figure out, like, watch for certain themes or certain signs or certain triggers, so you can try and understand, like, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to be doing? And there's, definitely there's lots of triggers. Like, I don't think there's anybody. I don't care if it's my mom. If she was around her mom, she'd be triggered. I think it's just these certain relationships. It brings up old painful memories, or it brings up old judgments or whatever. It brings things up, and that's maybe just as simple as I'm in a time of releasing these things and just being like, yeah, oh yeah, and just letting shit go. It's just, I know this time here is all about this purge, letting shit go. Otherwise, it's a burden. It holds you back. It lowers your vibration. You let go of stuff. You feel lighter. You feel higher. You feel like you can fly. So you feel better. And even when you feel like you can fly, some people go jump off a roof and find out you can't. We still have some denseness. So I don't know. There's still a weight. There's still a heaviness to this. It's so weird whenever I see this. Some of these visions, because this is like a ringing out, but like it's like us, the density part of us, not the light, not our orb, but the thing we're in, our spacesuit, is like in it. It's like it's ringing out. It's not just flying off. It's like in the wrinkles, and so it's holding it and it's trying to pull out, but it's still holding it. Kind of how like the gum thing the other day. So there's still this denseness holding us. And I don't know if it is, I don't know. Because you could look at it as like, well, it's the collective and we're all attached and we're all here for this experience. So, oh yeah. Because like us all together, being able to work together as a collective, then I saw it like a beach ball. Like it's like a purpose. It's like there's a reason. And so we are attached to each other through this energetic grid. And so as the energy is changing, and it's ringing out the the negativity and the dark and stuff, but we're still in it. Still this heaviness that pulls, you know, the part that seems like tedious and a burden, like it is slow. And you know, I just want to get to the good stuff. Well, that's kind of a problem in our society. People just want to get to the good stuff. And so, but there's a purpose between all of what leads to the good stuff. And so that is, it's just kind of getting more in tune to that. So anyways, that's what I kind of keep doing to try and fluctuate out of the burden of the tedious movement of time of how things go. So it can feel so tedious, and then it makes you feel frustrated, like, oh my gosh, it drags and drags, and it does get out of you the here and now of what you're doing. And there is a lot of like downtime, it seems. And I've heard a lot of people talking about these different energies on the planet is really draining us of our energy and stuff like that. And then some people say it's your crystalline body, like there's all sorts of things. But I know this energy of being where you're just dead ass, like you can't wake up, or you're just like, wow, what's going on? It just is this crazy energy. It's just like all over the place. It's like bipolar. It's going back and forth, back and forth. But then you can see it too. Yeah, it is like a volleyball or a beach ball game between the red and the blue. Boom, it is back and forth, back and forth. Ah, they're the stupid ones. I hate those people. They don't even think for them. And then it keeps people in division. It keeps people in judgment and stuff. And each person on each side is, you know, you have a good reason, you know, like you can stay divided. You can always find a reason to divide. But what good is it going to do? What good is it going to do our society? You know, that it has a big potential of you need to conform to my way so that we can all get along. And so that's why this awakening has so much to do with you recognizing your own biases, your own feelings inside of you that control you, that have a hold on you. So the more you can see those, the more that you can, because when you see like these bad parts of yourself, these dark parts, it's not like it's like you get excited. No, you want to let go. And people carry biases from a lot of different lives. Okay, so I'm going to go first to this podcast, guys, I saw this morning. They're always telling like crazy stories. They've always got crazy stories. I don't know what their podcast is. I only see these clips on TikTok, but they seem like really interesting. I like the stuff they talk about. And if you've seen them, they're like long hair. Like one guy's got long hair and I think a long beard, and then the other guy's got like curly hair, maybe to here or something. Seems like they both have beards. They both look like kickback guys, and then they have a girl too who talks. And they're always talking about, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? And it kind of like, where are those guys? So I used to watch them all the time. And then the big YouTube cleanse of 2020, they went and started their own. Somebody moved to like Disclose, Rumble, and all these things that have subscriptions. And I did subscribe to them for a while, but then it was like every time I went on and listened, it was like it was all stuff I already saw, I was already talking about and stuff. And I was like, I don't know, we've started being like talking about this. So anyways, it was like, I'm not gonna stay paying a subscription. And what are those guys called? I think they're getting maybe bigger, like maybe getting more things. The edge of something, edge or I don't remember. But they're on YouTube again now, though, because now you know, people learned how to talk in code, and so you know, we learned how to try and bypass censorship. Even though your account gets very watched and by them, but I don't know if they sit and watch it or if they just put it through some kind of system that tries to catch things and stuff. But that's one reason why I talk so weird sometimes, because you got to skip around and stuff. You can't just, because we're under control over what we can talk about. And people who try and speak find out through these bullshit. And so then we can only tell you guys, but you just don't realize how fucking bullshit it is until it's being done to you. It's like, you're trying to tell your mom something crazy, and every time you open your mouth, she just slaps you. It's like, God damn, shut up. So anyways, so this thing that they were talking about is called the friendship case. And I thought it was very interesting, especially because I saw this one scene in a movie. The movie is called is it The End of the World or something? It's like a 1950, I'm telling you, these old 1950s sci-fi movies, horror sci-fi movies, were disclosure screens, I swear to God. So, in this one, it is a spaceship lands, and this giant guy gets out, and he's standing there, and they start trying to talk to him. He starts trying to shoot him and all this stuff, and he's like, bullets just bounce off of him and stuff. They can't do anything. And then the small guy comes out. The big guy is a robot, though, or the protector or something. But there's like a connection between them. And then the small guy is the person. So it's kind of like, but they can injure this guy. They can do more to this guy. I don't remember the whole thing, but so in this friendship case, there was these guys, and they found a map. I think it was in England is what he was saying. So they found this map, so they decided, like, let's go follow this map. And they go out into this forest, and they start following this map, and it leads them to this, I think it was a castle or something, and it had a giant and another guy. And the giant was like 10 foot tall or something. And then the other person who was with him was like 3 feet tall. And then in the picture thing, because they've got pictures and stuff that are, was proof, because they're old, and they got, there's lots of old pictures of giants and stuff like that. Like, I know giants are real. I don't need a bunch of, I know it's real. And so, these guys was this 10-foot one and this 3-foot one. And so they started telling them something about never having to get sick or something, and about technology. And it is that the technology, it keeps them from being able from being sick, and it creates friendship. So see, that's where we're going into this technology that's been blocked from us. And so I don't know how it all works. Like, it just sweeps out a bunch of debris and stuff. But you got to be healing. I'm telling you, it's not going to just, nothing artificial can make you let go of things. You have to let go of things as a soul through these different lives. And you can see how situations are perpetuated by souls not letting go. They carry it forth in other lives. And even if they come back with these people, they stay in these same traps. So there's shit for souls to let go of in this density. And it trips me out how there's some people who just think like, I'll talk about that one in a minute. But so anyways, they had said about the technology, and that, I don't remember but that they have it, and I think they're over here to try and help humans, to try and help us be able to see this or do this or whatever. And then there's been these blocks or whatever. But so these guys said they've been here since the beginning. So they were here from the beginning. And they said there was another group of people who were here at the same time as us. And they didn't call them the Archons. They call them something like the NRCs, which I would think these are the vamps. And so there was something like the NRCs or something. So they called them this thing, but they said this group has been here since the beginning. They've been here as long as them. They said that they were both here, and these ones are really evil, like. And so he said that they are very science-minded. There's no compassion or anything like that. They're very control I can't remember all the things, but it was basically what we're dealing with. So they're like controlling, they're all about science. They have no feeling, no compassion for anything. And they're definitely all about the enslavement. But he said even in Italy a long, long time ago that they would drive around in these black, like dark cars, and they get out in these dark suits, and they're like the Men in Black or something, you know, with their like these aliens. And so somehow I think that they've learned how to shapeshift and stuff over time, and you know their technology or their science has gotten them to be able to switch bodies or whatever. But those are the people, I'm telling you, it's the same fucking people that have been here, and they probably have switched bodies. Like, I think some of these fucking relics have been here probably since the beginning of time. But anyways, that was the two groups, and this group has the one that has control over us. But these other energy is where we're going into, this other control. But see, how can you be somebody who's all about love and freedom, and you can watch it playing out? Like, people are very angry if you don't believe what they believe and stuff, so it makes them really pissed. And so they all need to recognize that in themselves, so they can see, like, think what you want, do what you want, whatever. And and all these situations happening are to promote that or provoke it, like these absurd fucking shit that just get, like all day yesterday. It was like everything was all about the people at the thing and their horrible behavior and how childish and how ridiculous. But see, that's a part of the show, so that we start seeing, like, that's childish, that's some bullshit, like, and that the people who are very thinking that they're one thing, that they keep showing that they're not the thing you think they are. They're not the good people. They're really rotten people. They're the ones who are, indebted to these NRCs or whatever the fuck, the vamps or whatever the fuck these people are. And, maybe they started having to live off of blood and body parts out of necessity, seeing this density maybe before they didn't. I don't know. I guess, we'll learn what we're supposed to learn. And maybe, things that don't really matter won't, they'll just not be or whatever. But I've also seen this woman in everything they keep saying, the Queen of Romana or something. I don't know. But it's a woman in Canada who's talking about the med beds, and she's saying that they're about to be doing them, and that all the sick people are going first. They're going to be trying to get as many people as they can, as fast as they can. But she said that they may have to go mobile. They may have to set up places in like hotels and stuff so that they can get enough people. So, and some of the people who were asking questions, it was like, well, can we get a job there? How can we get involved? And she gives a website. Both these people give a website you can go on to get involved in the training to use the med beds and be a part of the crew that's going to help people. And she said they have about 2,000 on hers. So there's lots of people involved. Like, I'm sure it's got to be getting close. I don't know how close. Fuck, man. Like, how long stuff has taken to me is just like so crazy. Like, even even when, so this person who I believe I'm connected to is all the way back in 2019, because it first came into my reality in 2017, but then in 2019, even in 2018, I was sure. I was sure on my trip to Portugal and Spain I was going to run into him. I was positive of it. I was like, that's what I'm saying. You can believe stuff all you want, but it's not meant to be. It's not going to happen. And, so, I mean, believe you me, all of this stuff that they sit there and say, I've envisioned, and I'm good at manifesting. I get it. And I've tried all these different things. But anyways, the way that, here's my stomach growling a little early. But when it very first came into my orbit, like, I was like, must be, they're showing me or telling me, because this is about to happen. I couldn't believe that would be not about to happen, like, real soon. And so I went on that trip and didn't. And I was like, man, that's so confusing. But then there were some other weird things that happened. And then my daughter was getting married in Costa Rica. I even told her, you better rub me on for a +1. And they all thought I was so crazy. But I was like, I'm sure. Like, I'm connected to this person. I'm going to meet him. Like, there's no reason the universe would tell me. Well, people think I'm so crazy when, like, there's some things I don't even say because people think I'm so crazy. If I went around saying all this stuff, they'd have locked me up a long time ago. And so I was positive. And then it took a while, I think. I mean, I kept seeing, myself growing and stuff like that. But it took a while to start seeing, like, oh, I've got to raise my but it was still like, well, why are you showing me this person? Why are you showing me this person? Why is this constantly? And like, so I don't know, but I mean, to me, there's just like, it remains to be seen. I don't know. There's things like you don't understand until you get the result or the answer or something. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know what the fuck. So, but I've done all this fucking visions and all this shit. And you cannot force something. You cannot make something happen just through your visions, I don't think. And that's confirmation. That's the other thing. See, so this girl this video I saw yesterday, and she was doing this side-by-side comparison over the rapture and the ascension. So she's going on this, comparing. It's the same storyline. You guys are all believing the same storyline, and it's a big trap in the matrix. It's holding you back, and because all you're supposed to do is just, I don't know. It seems like they all think that you're just supposed to wake up and then zap yourself out of here. Like, you're just supposed to zap yourself into a better timeline somewhere else. Like, I mean, because what are the timelines here? Like, it's all, we're in this period of time of loss and stuff. It's like the old world is crumbling. And so they want to skip all that. And I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And because, like what I was saying yesterday, what I say all the time is, your spiritual purpose for being here. Because you got to think, you're a spirit. And you're in your own world, in your own spirit world. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can zip over there, you can just go all over the place. To the point where I think, do we get bored? And we're like, man, I'm going to go try that. I don't know. But, I mean, that is what you can do normally. And then you come down here in this density. Remember, that's why lots of beings don't even come down here. It's very uncomfortable and stuff. So, so we come down here as a challenge. I can't see it any other way. We come down here as a challenge because we can do things that are far beyond. And so we come down here to see, like, well, what can we do in this density? And, but there seems that an expansion, when the light and the dark come together, there's an expansion of information. And so it begins to develop into an action, into a movement or something. So it's like us coming into here is what expands the universe, like, but the universe is, it's like a beautiful, this is beautiful, and everything's realms, but the heavens are the place where we are at a higher vibration. Everything is beautiful and perfect and wonderful, and it's all of the light and peace and everything. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so then this going down, this descending, going down into the darker the depth, the darkness, and going down into the vibrations, into the darkness. It's like I see it a lot like scuba divers, not the guys, not just scuba divers, but the ones who put on those suits and go down into the water really deep. That, you know, these souls come. It's like this dive down off of the one. That's weird too. Yeah. So if that, when you see all of the stars, if they are in the heavens, but it's in a different dimension, but they are on their way to this one. And it is, that would be weird too, because we do have this falling feeling that we get. But if it isn't, we just dive right out and go down towards the darkness, like down into the depths of the water or something. But we go into the darkness, and it's not like the universe is trying to get rid of all the darkness, because the darkness has a purpose. It creates a balance. And so it's like when we started coming into the darkness, it started, I don't know, I see it like bubbles of light coming out of perspective and in innovation, but it's like an innovation of self, because the technology has been repressed, but we expand through our emotions and our willingness to like see things, to experience things. So it's like we come into this depth, and then we go through things that are really hard, and then when we get to the other side, it's like this light comes from it. And so it is like there's light that comes from it. It's not like, you know, we're going into a swamp to be chased by alligators for no reason. There's an expansion, there's saving lives and stuff. So I mean, it's just so weird, because all these people try and, you know, think that they're so spiritually evolved or something. I say, well, what do you think you're here for? What are you doing here? What's the point of this? What's the purpose of this? And, you know, it's, you know, I don't know. There's just so many weird things that some of these people say. Like, I don't know. But anyways, you know, this is something I've been trying to understand my whole life. So, you know, I've gotten myself into a place of where I feel understanding, where I feel like, oh, I get it. Okay, that makes sense. So it's like putting together the pieces to me. And I don't know what goes on with these other people. But anyways, so this ascension thing. So, where they say the ascension and the rapture are the same, but I don't see it the same. It's like I don't know what their understanding of the ascension is, and because to me, so in the rapture, and the whole thing about the rapture and religion and stuff, you know, you got to do all this stuff to get this guy who created you to even like you, which I don't get that at all. And then at some point things are going to be so horrible, and all the people that didn't like him or didn't you know, tell him he was great, that they're going to be suffering the most vile deaths imaginable, and they're going to hell. But the chosen, or the people in his favor, the ones who said, hey, Jesus, we love you, guy, then they are going to just fly out of the sky. They're just flying out of here. They're just going to zippity-doo all day and be gone. And so that's their story. And then the rest of the people are left in the tribulation, which is 100 years of misery and violence and horrible. Because my mom, like, I always be like, I think we're in the tribulation, Mom. And she's like, oh no, it's way worse than this. But all the people who feel that they're in God's favor, they're like, man, you're on your own. I told you should have chose Jesus. And So anyways, but that's to my understanding. The ascension, like I don't know what this lady thinks or whatever, but the ascension to me is a spiritual path. Oh yeah, because they think the same thing. They're gonna zippity doo all day out of 3D to 5D. It's just like gonna go through 3D to 5D. To me, it has been a path. Like I said yesterday, like I was telling people in 2016, go look outside. Everything's three-dimensional. Like it looks like we're walking around inside a picture. And people were like, what are you talking about? Lay off the weed, Kelly. And it's like, I'm not high, I'm telling you. Like something's going on out here. And but it's like, oh, she's got a brain injury. She smokes weed now, so don't turn her off. And it's like, no, this is fucking like. So, anyways, that uh, beginning to see, the three-dimensional world was opening up to me, this artificial world. And I already had an understanding, that we were our souls, but it took me to a whole nother level. It was a whole another level that started happening, and I started understanding these chakra thing. Like there's so much more that was coming together for me. I was understanding the sparkle, all this stuff. And so the vision, like it was just going crazy. I was having all these people talk. I could be crouching down 1 second doing gardening, and the next second I'm in a circle with a bunch of women, and we're all sitting there. It's like, that is so weird. And so, but I was just going with the flow. Like that kind of stuff doesn't trip me out. It doesn't make me think I'm going crazy, because I've lived a different kind of reality than most people. So to me, it's like, oh, this is fun. So, and it's like I wish I could stay there longer so I could see or understand more. But it's real fast that things will happen. As soon as you start being like, what the fuck is going on? Who are these people? What are we doing here? And it's like you get a few minutes and then you're back sitting in your garden. So, but some people, I mean, I've heard of people going into these other alternate realities and being in there and having conversations and stuff. So, I mean, we're all on our own levels and stuff. But anyways, so the ascension to me is this the soul coming to realize itself. It's like turning itself back on. It's like this connection between your spacesuit and your power pack. And it's like, oh, they got unplugged. Who unplugged them? Oh, those NPC CESs or whatever the fuck these Archon motherfucker. The Archons, to me though, is a lot of the dark energy. Is more of this mindless kind of thing. It's like they just are parasite, like feed off the energy or something. Because the Archons supposedly don't, they aren't trying to outthink you. They just are trying to get what they need, but they're not thinkers. And those other people, like I had said, I talked about that before. When I was looking at them, it was like they don't have any feeling. It's not like that they have these bad feelings toward. It's like they just don't have any feeling. And like they look at us as like it's kind of a deficit, that we have feelings for one. Like they're just like, think that it's strange. And okay. So they even like to toy and see how far that they can push. Like, how far can you push their feelings? When do they lose them and stuff? Oh, because we are in this science thing, and they are manipulating so much of our habitat and our world to such a degree. But anyways, but they're always just, they look at us like science projects, because that's what they're all about, science. So anyways, but as the soul plugs back in, because they've done everything they can to sever this tie from you, from yourself. And so, because if you are tuned into yourself, you are a lot more, you're a lot more loving and stuff. So they want to sever that. They want you to be more hardened and hateful like them. But it's not even like they're hateful. It's like they don't even have those feelings. They just don't care. Like there's just an emptiness to them. just a drive to have to be the smartest or the most technology or whatever. And it's weird how their little henchmen are like, oh yeah, because then they aren't thinkers, because these ones, that's all they are. Yeah, that's weird, because in the micro and macro, it's like these two energies that need to be merged, but they would have to elevate to merge, and the dark, it needs the dark. Like, I don't know that in this ascension we're gonna have all these dark beings that are gonna all of a sudden be like, oh, I see the light. No, I don't think so. They stay the dark. And at this time, as we split off, the dark doesn't have much to do. There's not a lot for it to do without the light to try and take over. So when they split off, when we split off from them, they're like a fucking, like a booger out of your nose that starts drying up. It's like they're going into drying up. And like I said before, it's like that energy, it falls down in other places, and then it kind of plants, and then somebody walks over it, and then all of a sudden they're, I don't know, because there's other lower dense places too. So like you could go out and go somewhere else, I guess. But anyways, their darkness. So when we as the light come into the dark, why would the light, when we've got everything we want, are we all live in a perfect world, why would we come into the dark? Well, there's got to be a reason. And it's been going on for, eons. It's not like we're the first ones. I just can't even get over that sometimes when I hear, I think I'm on my second life, maybe. It's like, second for the past, you've got so many under your belt. Like, way more than what you think. It's like trying to add up how many dreams you've had since you've been alive. That's more like it. So, anyways, you come into the light because you gain something. There's something that comes from it when the light goes into the dark. And so I said, it's like lots of things. Imagination, common sense, like there's lots of things that come from it when we're in here and we're learning and we're growing, because of the challenges and the obstacles and the things that where it feels so real and stuff. So the ascending, to me, the ascension is not this, you jump out and you're going to a whole new place. We just go home. Why would we go into, but it is more of we, the people, are raising our vibration. So we are connecting with ourselves, pulling ourselves back more towards ourselves. So it's pulling out of the darkness, which is this ringing out, like we've got these attachments, but we're pulling out of that. And in that process, it's like we're at our level, if you want to call it 5D or whatever, but we change the level of our communication, of our reality, of what is expected, what we live, how we live. It changes it, because we, the people, we decide we don't like being treated like this. So we as a collective, as a group, pull out of that energy, which we have the universe in here, because the pendulum swings one way, then it's got to come back. So the universe, we're riding this wave, which is promoting these feelings inside of us, which is the ascension of this change, is bringing your feelings back up instead of coming down here to do it. Now we're pulling ourselves back up towards ourselves. And so and the universe is bringing in this wave of energy, and then you have all these other beings, because of this place being so significant over the things that have gone on. And so you have all these other beings that are here for this same thing. It's this liberation. And because of the control of these, whatever they're called, the vamps is all I can think of. But whatever that got, those beings said that they called them this NUCs or something. So I call them the vamps. But so the vamps, we're pulling free from their control, which then leaves them nothing to control, which, I don't know. They may just get on a spaceship and try and take off, but and go to another place, but they're still trapped in the depths of the deep, the dark. They don't get that experience of the light and the happiness, like where everything's perfect, everything's great, you got no problems. And but remember, that's our normal thing. That's our real life. That's what our real life is. So we come into this thing, which to me seems like a game or a movie, like a live action experience, like putting on those virtual reality and getting to experience something. That's what this seems like to me, is that. And there's a point to it. There's this gain by pulling yourself free. But right now we're at this big period of time where this is this energy's flipping. It's flipping and going the other way. And the more that we get in and ride that energy, the further it takes us. The further we go when we're riding in on it. There's lots of people who have no awareness of it because they still haven't plugged in. That's the awakening. And that's what is going to be this, this big, it's like a, it's like a street, at night, and then all of a sudden everybody plugs in their Christmas lights and the whole street lights up. That is going to be what is going to be when all of a sudden all these people come on. It's going to be very dramatic because all of a sudden they're going to be connected to themselves, and it's going to be very emotional. It's going to be a lot of, hard things for people to face in themselves and stuff. So it's going to be dramatic. But that is, but see, they're not all riding this wave of change. They're kind of fighting against it. They're fighting against the current. They're flailing around because they're not connected. And so some will, not everybody will go forward. But the ones that will go forward, they will have to plug themselves back in and face themselves. And that is, the ascension is this, you moving yourself back towards yourself. So you're going back towards your highest version of yourself, your higher self, where, you're living your best life, you're living your dream. And so it's like you're going back towards that. It's almost like we're filling in a space between the heavens and the darkness with another place, another realm, another reality or something. It's like we're filling it in with more possibilities. And so we're in this creation of a whole new thing. And so we're not ascending to just go home. In the ascension, the thing is when you pull yourself out of the dark, and then you start seeing that they handicapped you by telling you to, you're flesh and blood and stuff like that, because it's an illusion. You're a hologram at best. And so when you pull back towards that and you let go of the illusion of self and you go into the more vagueness of the hologram, then you start being able to that, like your crystalline body and stuff. And so that's where, you don't die anymore, because, death was created by them to keep us sick and to keep us sad and to keep us in sadness and stuff, and depression and loss and a state of misery, because there's people who lose people who can't get over it and stuff, but those are your challenges. And so at this time, though, the challenges aren't as hard because the universe has given an assist. And we got all these beings out here in full-on communication with people all day long. And so you've got a lot of assist to help you move back towards yourself. But moving back towards yourself, see, that's where you get into this, where it's like this heaven on earth. This, you don't die anymore. And that's from what those other guys are saying. It's a part of the technology and the happiness and stuff. So it's just like this new realm of existence that we're creating. And it's not like we're going back into, it's not like we're going back home. It's like people who even left here and went back home can go to this place that we're creating. And so anyways, to me, whatever the ascension is, just this, it's in putting yourself in favor. It's you bring yourself up by valuing yourself and letting go of things. So that to me is your ascension. It's your pathway back to yourself. But again, it's not like we're going home like the people in the rapture. They are going home with their uh, fella. But we are moving up and out of the depth of deceit and moving into the light and in a creation, and we're going to be creating a whole new thing. And so it's to me, the ascension is just the pulling yourself free from the dark, and it's so insidious. It's so attached to people. It's like people can't tell where they end and where the dark begins. They can't tell that their thoughts are not their own thoughts. Like they're very lost and confused in this place. But that's the ascension, is like coming to your senses. It's like plugging yourself in and moving towards yourself. It's like going towards yourself. So anyways, I don't know. I mean, all of the things, because, there is a thing about this waiting and stuff. You can't just make it happen. Jesus Christ, I'm telling you, if I could make it happen, man, I would have by now. But that you can't force time, you can't force fate, you can't force destiny. There's other things at play, and they are more set, so you can't force them. And going into the game, putting on the goggles in the virtual reality, putting on the glasses or whatever, is you are going into that reality. So it's got its own parameters, and so it's like you go in to play a role, and whatever your role space is a soul. You would be choosing your role over, I don't know, the other people you interact with, the things you're here to learn, the things, because it's almost like a lot of people move in soul groups. It's like a soul group. And so whatever your soul group, and it can be like the most random people that you come across. And those people are all there for you. You're there for each other for significant purposes. It can be just, this person who opened the door and smiled at you and their eyes sparkled and you just went in the store and all of a sudden you felt better. You felt like life isn't that bad, and that little thing was, a very significant person to you in this world. It seemed like, nothing. And it just seemed like, oh, this nice person opened the door for me, but there's more to it. And so these things, these perfect moments in time are set by these fate, destiny, time, and everything. It's like it's all works together. And so you can't disrupt what is already set. You can't go in and change it because you don't like how the day is going. And everything has its moment in time. It has where its time and place is. And so a lot of the journey is learning how to trust that, learning how to go with the flow, learning how to be okay even when you're not in control. And then you see these people flailing around fighting, that so the spiritual thing is about being in control, taking control of this place and stuff. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's what leads to the dark. They're going to control it. I'm pretty sure, when you live in a world where you do have control, then you're not, the challenge here is you don't have control, and learning how to trust yourself, like you chose this role for a reason, and it's not, you still have your higher self. You're still yourself outside of here, and there's nothing that can really hurt you. It's like you project yourself into this, and then you get all caught up in it, and you think it's all real, and this is all you got. And it's like, no, connect to your higher self, and you'll see, like, oh, no, I'm from up there. I'm just a projection down here to experience, because it is an expansion. It's a growth process. So anyways, just, when you've got all these people out there trying to flail around, trying to figure it out, and you're not doing it right if you're not in your best timeline. You're not doing it right if you're not jumping and all that stuff. It's like I think that they are just in fear. They're flailing around. They have no idea what's going on, and it's like a desperate attempt to try and figure it out. Even on that girls, I said, so is this something that you're like a philosophy, or is this something you've done? And she hasn't said anything, but it's like, don't be telling people to go do these things that you haven't done. And don't be saying when you're taking people's money that you've put yourself on your best timeline and that they should all be doing the same. What in the world are you trying to create in here? We're all just out trying to get it. Isn't that the one we're trying to leave? I think that's the one we're trying to leave. So these people who just want to keep carrying these same energies forward, it's like, no, take that energy back there. We don't want it up here. Take it back there. You got an issue. Go work on yourself. And so, anyways, just keep that in mind when you hear all these people saying things, and they can sound like they know what the fuck they're talking about, and they can say it in a way like, you're so stupid and you're such an idiot. Yeah, but you got to, question things. Don't just because this person thinks they figured it out. It's the same thing with me. Maybe you understand things way more than I do. You got to figure your own stuff out and just believe everything I say. What makes sense to you. Think it through like you think it through for your own self and see, but I think that there's just a lot of people who are just, I don't know, they're just caught up in fear and drama, and they're not letting go of the ties that bind, the things, the programs. Like, so much of this is about breaking your programs. And keep in mind too, like, don't get caught up in things that you don't see and stuff. Some of us see patterns where other people don't see patterns. We can see things that other people can't see. So don't feel like, well, I'm an idiot because I don't see this. Don't get caught up in that. Just keep going on your journey back to yourself, and you're going to find out, like, well, I'm pretty good at blah, 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 and I can do this and I can do that. And you start noticing the good things about yourself instead of staying back in the dark where all you do is compare yourself and think you're not good enough, and you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not tall enough, you're not short enough. You're just this comparison where you're never good enough. And it's like this trap. So that's another energy you want to let go of, and know, like, you're fucking just as evil. Everybody's coming from this heavens. Like, we're from the heavens. We're the light from the heavens. We're not brewed out of the darkness. These people who are in the darkness, they constantly come. I don't think they can get out, because what's gonna get them out? They like it. They live off of it. They live off of trauma and drama and stuff like that, and trying to outsmart the universe or whatever. I don't know, but that's it's their own world. It's their own existence, and we're not of it. We are kind of like the gnats flying in, we're kind of like the irritants or something. We're their challenge. We're challenging them, but then so many people get in here and forget who they are, and then they get programmed, they get indoctrinated. Some people, they die and they don't even know who they are, so then they get pushed back in. So it's just like, it's a battle to self, is what I see. And it's conquering the dark inside of you, is to get back to the part of you that's the light. But the dark becomes it's a part of you. And so you have to find the balance between the two. You can't deny your darkness. You've got darkness. You've seen your darkness. There's other beings. Everybody would have darkness. Not every being comes in to experience their darkness. So when you come in and experience your darkness, and you see where you can be misled, where you can become victim to your own immorality or your own fetishes or your own desires or your own emotions. So when you see that, then you've got something that you need to find balance. You need to find, how do I balance the two? Because I can't give up what I know. I can't give up these parts of me that I've seen. But I know that there's this light side of me It's loving, caring side of me. You can't focus too much on the dark side. Otherwise, you forget you're of the light. So you've got to find a balance. And the balance to me is accepting your dark, but not feeding it. Don't feed it, but to accept it, to see it, to recognize it, and then to bring in your light, in all the different situations. Just, it's the steering through life. But yeah, don't feed your darkness, especially right now, is, let go of the things and face the things. And there's a lot of sick people in this world, a lot of sick people. And I don't know if they're all, leaving. And I got confirmation on that. I don't know if they're all leaving or if some of these people are going to be trying to heal this deep, darkness, these deep, dark secrets. I don't know. It remains to be seen. We'll see. But yeah, there's going to be, I'm telling you, once these lights come on, it's going to be like, boom. All this is just going to be like, very, and not like the lights are going to come. No, it's going to be when the lights come on, it's going to be then they see. And that is going to be like, then they want to crawl in a hole. It's going to be very hard. And, but that's how dramatic it's going to be, is like, it's going to be a dark room that all of a sudden, you plug in the lights and all these little lights come on and all the people are going to suddenly be plugged into themselves. And it's going to be like, what the hell? And then it's going to be like, oh my God. They're going to suddenly see. And that to me is the time of mirrors. But you have to see yourself to find your balance. You can't deny yourself. You can't hide from yourself. You have to face these sides of yourself. But just keep remembering, you are of the light. You are the angels. You are, you reside in the heavens. That's where you're from. This is just, a place to, it's just a place to come and challenge yourself, to see more sides of yourself, to understand yourself more wholly, more completely. But then you gotta, the trap is very dense, heavy, and you gotta pull yourself free from it. And so, anyways, that's what I gotta say about it. And let's have a look at my tooth. And that's how it's looking now. So it takes a while for any of this stuff to grow or get. I mean, I still have white right here, and sometimes I wonder, like, maybe it's gonna stay forever. Maybe this part doesn't go. Maybe you do have some. I don't know. I think it's gonna go back, especially once we go in the med beds and stuff, because that's supposed to age you backwards by a lot. Like, I think our society, our civilization, and our new world that we created, we're all going to be around, visually, around 30 or 40 years old. Like, there'll be kids and then young adults, but then everybody will reach like a certain adulthood, and then people will stay there. I think the only time that people would start really getting old is when they decided that they wanted to leave. They were ready to leave the thing. Maybe that's when they start becoming older. Maybe they never will be older. I don't know. Maybe they'll just, when you want to leave that realm, you just walk in through a portal and you just leave it. You can go back to the heavens or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. But I just know that this place that they call the 5D is, it's a state of consciousness. It's a way that you deal with other people and stuff. It's a way you see yourself. And it's going to create a new world of this new vision of, these people who love themselves, but they learn how to love each other. They learn how to bypass, like, you don't have to be just like me for me to like you. You can be, your own weird self, and maybe we won't get along, and that's okay too. We don't all have to be best friends. We can just be like, yeah, they're not my cup of tea. We're not on the same vibration, and that's it. And so, anyways, that's what we're here to do, as far as I can see. So all of this other stuff in there is magic in this world. Like, that's a for sure. We live in a magic, supernatural, and it's going to even get better. Because I always see it as like this denseness, as like the old black and white movie, and then we're going into the color, but it's not even just the color, because it's almost like we're going into cartoon colors. It's going into this like way more magical. So things are going to get really sparkly and really, really, what is that word? Not distinct, but vivid. Everything is going to be like very vivid, like like where you can hear color, you can taste color, you can smell color and stuff. Like it's going to become very ultra sensitive or something in this new world that we create. It's going to be really good and fabulous, but it's pulling free from this other, and it's um, yeah, there's something that's going to, there's a big universal thing, and I don't know if it's the lights come on, the solar flash, I don't know, but there's going to be, something that's going to all of a sudden turn our reality from this dark, dense, heavy to light and beautiful, and everything feels good. But we're not there yet, so we got to keep going towards it. And we're still, we still got a huge amount of people that aren't even in the way, not even going on the path yet. They're just still back here fighting, and they're just caught up in the programs, man. They're just caught up in the dark. So, and a lot of them, remember, don't believe in God and stuff. So it's going to be another shocker when they turn on, and it's like, oh, it's not just like, there's lots of gods. There's lots of gods you can go and worship. I mean, we got gods here on earth where people worship and worship. But anyways, it's not one singular God we're trying to please. It's these energies. It's these energies. I don't know what else to say. My stomach's growling. I'm gonna go find something to eat. So, anyways, just remember, because I'm telling you, this is, well, even if, you don't want to buy into everything I say, just, think about it. Because I'm telling you, there is a value. There's a value to you learning how to love yourself and love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it is totally up to you. The day can go how you want it to go. You just got to start realizing and learning that. So, anyways, I will talk to you later. Bye.